For the first time ever, I went camping. I don't know why I'm pulling that face. I quite enjoyed it. It did rain, but once the out of focus sun showed its face, things dried up and nature came alive. I got back to nature, is what the kids say. Like I was ever there. I was leaving technology behind, and what does every good camp need? A campfire. Now I had a ferro rod, and I've had this ferro rod for a long time, and I was determined to get a fire started with it. It took a little while, but in the meantime, I had received this lovely package in the post from my friend Boylei, or as his birth certificate reads, Boylei's Hobby Time. Now, if you've been living under a rock, in the crafting sphere of YouTube, you may have not seen that Boylei has created a game called The Imaginary Wild West. Lovely little badge there. In this package were 3 miniatures from his new game. He said, "Hey Dan, do whatever..." Well, he did a much better American accent than I can. "Hey Dan, take these minis, do what you like." That's exactly what he sounds like. And after being camping for a few days, I thought, hey, let's get all naturey and make some kind of naturey diorama featuring one of these guys. I decided on this guy because I feel like this could be me in 10 years' time. Before I can do anything with this project, I need to get this guy primed. And anytime you want to prime anything in the UK, it decides to rain. So I had to wait for that to subside. And the second it was dry, I was straight out there. Now this guy is a skunk ape, I believe, going back through Boylei's videos. I do remember watching this at the time, but he has quite the catalogue, that boy. And skunk apes live in the swamp, I think. I think they're an actual mythological thing, rumoured to be real by swamp folk. So I want to make a swamp diorama. But first I've got to get him painted. And to do that I'm going to make him look like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. Very brown and very beige, a bit of wet blending there just to get all the colours nice and sort of natural looking. Those that are regulars to this channel will know that painting minis is not my forte, but I gave this one a good old shot. I wanted to do it a service. Now once those base colours were in, I added a flesh wash to the whole thing just for my own sake. I like to see the details popping out, and you know what, it turned out alright. And there wasn't too much involved in painting this thing. Once I'd done all this and the flesh wash, it was time to do a dry brush with a mossy colour, because I think skunk apes are kind of green, kind of like those sloths that have moss on their back because they're so fucking lazy. And there he is, the skunk ape, pretty much done. All I need to do is paint the nails and the eyes. I'm liking it, I'm quite happy with this. Very easy to paint, the details are nice and crisp. I attempt to paint the eyes now on camera, which is ridiculous. It's near impossible, so I pretend to do it and then do it off camera because of the angle. I don't know if it's just my long gangly fingers or the tiny room I'm in. How do people do it? Anyway, his eyes are a lovely glowy yellow, as if they've been hit by some kind of torch. This guy was super glued to the base for painting purposes. I need the handle. but I'm going to have to remove him now. It's cheap super glue, so I don't imagine it'll be too difficult, or at least I didn't think it would be. But that stuff really held so much that I accidentally snapped his toes off. I don't show that in the video because I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to pull the wool over your eyes, but luckily you won't notice by the time the diorama's done. This is a bag of wooden discs. Now my diorama, I want it to be sort of coaster size, and these discs are coaster size, but they're far too thin. Oh, what's this? Some kind of mint? Anyway, I'm going to glue 4 of these discs together to get a bit of thickness going for a lovely wooden base. Love a wooden base, me. And for some reason I seem to have filmed the entire process. Oh no, there we go. That's it, Dan. You can't help but have a disc-shaped thing and not spin it. It's so predictable. Here is a part of a sheet of XPS foam. I have the odd scraps lying about. Not so easy to come by in this country, but some people have tons of it. Imagine how easy it would be to have an endless supply of this stuff. You can make anything you want relatively easily. Anyway, I'm going to use this to add some levels to the platform. Just chip away at it with my handyman's murder weapon there. Oh, a lovely big brand new bottle of wood glue. I'm going to use this to glue the thing down. It takes a while for this glue to set with XPS foam, so I'll leave this for a while. Clamped with my big fancy clamp. It's not fancy, but I was overcharged for it. But that's neither here nor there. Many years ago I bought this tub of Vallejo earth texture. It's completely dried up, so I needed to make some more. This is a live experiment, so to speak. Well, not live, but you get what I mean. And there you go, that turned out all right. I've made a completely original recipe, and I will give it a completely original sounding name like mustard. It's time to slap it on there like some kind of wading pig. I don't know if that analogy works. But anyway, I slap it on there and I leave it to dry for a good day. I think you need a good day for this sort of thing to be solid. It looks like poop. Also, while it's drying, I chuck a couple of tiny stones in there. Can't hurt, can it? Can't hurt. A day later and it is solid, like rock solid pretty much. Add wood glue to anything and it becomes solid given enough time. I need to give this thing some detail. I want to add some logs or trees, and I've got these twigs here that, would you believe, I actually paid for a long time ago. I paid for twigs. What an idiot. They're all over the place, they're on the ground. I dread to think how much I paid for these. Anyway, it is a good twig, and because it has a certain texture, it looks like it's in scowl with the rest of it. I'm going to drill a hole in this. Stick a little rod in it and then jam it into the dirt here. I'll do 2 of these. Don't want to overdo it. Eventually, you'll see. I just seem to be hanging on this shot a little bit too long. Now it's time to attach the big guy, and it looks great amongst the mud and the twigs, like he belongs. Now I need to start adding some plants, and I have a plethora of plants, fake plants, terrain plant things. I've just gathered them over the years. Here's a big old pile. I'm going to start chucking in sort of weedy ones along the edge of what will soon be the water, which do cause me a few problems later on. And then I'm going to even add a couple of flowers, just to add a little bit of colour. It's very earth tony, this entire thing. You ever met Earth Tony? He's a great guy. Now coming up is the moment I've been dreading. I don't like resin pours. Not a fan of them. So I want to make a swamp, but just with UV resin. I want to do it in layers and see how it turns out. This could be the moment when the entire diorama fouls. Now you have seen the thumbnail and you know that it didn't foul, because if you know me, I'm not going to make the same thing twice, despite what some of you think. And so to do this, I need to build a dam. I didn't have any of that clear acrylic that Boylei likes to use to dam it off. Damn it! But I had some acrylic sheets, the white sheets, the expensive stuff, so I used a sliver of that. And then I mixed up some UV resin with a couple of drops of green wash and a couple of drops of brown wash, and then slowly, very slowly poured it in. It took a long time, and it took forever to level. And with UV resin, you're very much time limited. You don't want any sun creeping in. Thanks to the lovely folks at Elegoo, I have this Mercury Plus curing and washing station, so I use this to cure the resin. I know that if you cure a model too much, it can become brittle, but I think it's fine. It's protected by the paint, like so much suntan lotion. And as for curing the resin, it worked a treat. Did this a few times. Tried changing the colours a little bit as it went deeper or higher. Didn't really make any difference, but it did work. It looks swampy, I think. It needed a little bit of cleaning up, so I carved a lot of that off and coated it in another layer of resin around the edge, just to make sure it was sealed in properly. Cured it again, and then brought out the old art shiv to carve the edge of the resin. I've seen Boylei do this all the time. In case you can't tell, this entire video is a small tribute to Boylei and his methods. Now you all might be thinking, hey, that Dan's a bit of a kiss ass, kissing that Boylei's ass. Well, you know what, Boylei has been one of the few YouTubers that has reached out to me and been incredibly friendly from near enough the beginning of my YouTube adventure. Got a tub of glossy Mod Podge here that I don't think I've ever used for anything, and I'm going to use this to make some fine ripples on top of the water. I couldn't find a straw, so I cut the end off a pipette and used that to blow the Mod Podge around, just to give it some ripples. Swamps wouldn't have ripples, but I suppose if a giant skunk ape is wading through it, there'd be a little bit of disruption to the water's surface. I'm no scientist. This here is another technique I learnt from Boylei. In fact, I think this entire diorama is pretty much a smaller version of the skunk ape diorama that Boylei did. But hey, let's call it a homage. Using a tiny ball stick, I'm just dabbing on tiny little green bits of, what is it? Weed? Duckweed? I don't know what it's called. The little greeny weedy bits that float on top of the water. Looks good though. I may have overdone it. Now, we couldn't call this a homage to Boylei if we didn't have some black 4.0. Well, I don't. I've got black 3.0. I'm slightly lower down on the ladder. But you know what? The stuff's pretty good. Getting very close to the end of the video now, so I just want to say a big thanks to all my patrons. Your names will be coming up at the end in the showcase. Also, a nice welcome to our 3 new patrons, Sarah Phillips, Michael Mankin, and Chris S83. You lot really do keep me in Hawaiian shirts. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to add one last thing to the diorama, nice little cherry on top. And you may be wondering, how did the fire go? Dan, did you get the fire started? Well, there's a little controversy, and I'd like to show you that right now. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. After many minutes of trying, my family, and namely my sister, got sick and tired of waiting, so she set fire to a piece of paper and threw it on top of my hard work. But the moment before she threw that bit of flaming paper onto the fire, it caught fire by one of my ferro rod sparks, and I will prove this to you. And when I made this claim to my family, they laughed, pointed and mocked. But I will prove it to you now with this undeniable evidence. They laughed, but later that night I went back to my sister's house and tried again. Thanks for watching!